Hi there. So today I want to share with you the story of one of my most challenging moments in my professional life. This happened long back when I was working in Airtel as Chief Operating Officer. I had completed about 4 years there, and I started noticing that I had a physical challenge. I didn't know it at that time, but this was the beginning of my autoimmune disorder, which later on went on to cripple me. But at this juncture, it was basically manifesting as some kind of tremor in my fingers and slight loss of balance. I assumed that it must be the incredible work stress of being a chief operating officer in a telecom circle that was causing it. So I looked for a new job, and I was offered a job at Dell International Services as a director of sale for EMEA region, that is basically the English speaking part of Europe, which contained UK and Ireland. It was Dell at that time used to sell all their computers through online selling, and the whole team for doing that was sitting in Hyderabad. There's close to 1,000 people, and I was supposed to handle a sale of about $1 billion in these two markets. So it was a huge responsibility of $1 billion sales, 1,000 people reporting to me. I was very happy to take on the responsibility. I went and I accepted the role. It took me 3 months to join because I was handling a very responsible position. I had to close everything properly and then hand over and then go. And by the time I joined Dell, they had restructured. So I landed up expecting this great role, and I was actually given a table and I was told to sit there. There's a nice director's table, there's a huge table. And I was told that, wait, we will announce your arrival in the due course of time. I waited for a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, nothing happened. And I kept pushing my boss to understand what is wrong. And that's when I realized that the role was no longer open. They had restructured and the role was redundant. I didn't have a job. And I didn't know what to do. I kept pushing, saying, give me something to do, because I didn't want to sit around looking like an idiot in this large office all by myself doing nothing. Now, the organization was very kind. They also gave me a secretary who was also doing nothing. So there were two of us sitting around looking at each other's face, having nothing to do. But finally, my pushing helped, and I was told that I needed to handle a certification program for call-taking agents. First of all, I had no idea what the call-taking agents' role were in Dell International, because they were tech support, they were customer care. Each customer care was a different kind of set of processes. The tech support depended on kind of products they were handling. Each one was different. I had never done those kind of things before. And certification program, I had no idea what it was. Typically now I know that it is the HR function which does that. And creating a certification program is a very involved HR process. You need to create something called a competency framework for each level of the role. And for that competency framework, you need to have different different levels of competency which you can measure. You have to have validated tools to be able to measure the competency. And then you need to roll out the certification program using those validated tools. All this was completely new to me. I had no clue what is happening. But, I told myself there's no point sitting around and taking a salary. Might as well contribute. And I said, I will take it on. And I remember I took that responsibility one day evening. Next day morning, I was on a flight to Bangalore from Hyderabad, met up with a bunch of people at the head office of Dell International Services in India, from HR to leadership teams to the big boss, to people in each of the functions of tech support and customer care, various levels of people. I worked from 5 in the morning till the next day morning at about 6 o'clock in the morning, about 25 hours continuously meeting with people. And because, it was a 24/7 operation. At the end of that, I had a clear idea of what it would entail to create a certification program. That's how it started. Soon, I was invited to Round Rock in US to discuss this. And I started talking about how we have started progressing on creating some certification program. People are very interested. They wanted to roll this out globally. I got co-opted into a great team of people who were all doing this globally. And in the next 1.5 years, 4 of us actually spearheaded this entire program, and the initiative became one of the biggest in Dell across the world. Finally, this program got rolled out, and about 15,000 call-taking agents across the world were going through the certification program, which we had created. And the icing on the cake was Michael Dell and I and the local boss, Romy Malhotra. 3 of us were standing on stage and inaugurating this initiative. So I asked myself, how did this setback become such a big success for me? And the only reason I could think of was that I wanted to add value to the organization instead of adding value to myself. So the only thing to ask in a job is, how can I add value to the organization? Then whatever role comes your way, you should take it on, and then you should give it your best shot. Number 1. Number 2 is always be prepared to learn new things, however completely different it is from what you have done before. Put your heart and soul into it and make it a success. Number 3 is, if you don't know something, ask. Ask as many people as you want. Don't have any fear of being judged. Don't feel hesitant. The more you learn, the better you become. The more you ask, the more you learn. And these are the 3 lessons I learned. And that became one of the biggest learning opportunities I've had in my life. And I would never forget how I managed to turn around that entire situation to something of a great success. So, my friends, if you like this story and you want to hear many more such stories, my own stories as well as others, please click on subscribe now. Subscribe for this channel, Boundless with Ramji. Enjoy yourself. Bye-bye. See you next time.